You know, in this world, there's a lot of things that we never truly see until it's too late. And honestly, there's a lot of things, mostly the story um, my mother used to tell me when I was younger about demons or something coming out at night. I never believed that then, but now I do. Because, I don't know, man. I don't know, sir. Like, the father used to tell me stories of his heyday, of how he would run around with a group of friends with a strange metal steel katana. And I don't know. It's weird. He used to tell me about a friend of his named um Urodaki, I believe. Friend turned trainer, teacher, sensei, right? Um, I don't know. I don't. I mean, I semi believe that there are things in the dark coming after us, but I don't think I'll ever meet one or do anything like my father did. Kid, Tanjiro, get some sleep. I know you told. Thank you for the story, but you truly need to get some sleep and then go up the mountain to your family. I know, I do. But yeah, thank you for the food and yeah, the safety. No problem. Goodbye, sir. Safe travels, Tanjiro. Blood. Hi, it's me, We Anime or Anime We. I'm here to bring you part one of What If Tanjiro Had Wood Breathing. And this is my first ever Tanjiro What If, so to either the new fans or the ones that just want to try this out, of who are already fans of my channel. This is new, so if I suck, wait until the next one. I will be way better since I've done it again. I plan on doing another one after this, and then possibly another depending on the views. Um, so if these do good, I will keep on doing them. Okay, with new ideas. I have already have like 4 or 5 ideas already made. So yeah, you can plan. You can definitely expect some in the future of, well, with different breathing styles and different stories, different backstories, and all that jazz. All right. Um. Once again, found the picture on Google. I don't know where it's from. Just found it on Google. Yeah, this backstory is way different for Tanjiro than in canon, given his father being an actual demon slayer and knowing Oradaki, which you all have already caught on to, I guarantee. Um, right. The, I'll explain this coming on what if, into the what if, right? Um, but yeah, if you are new here, I do stuff different from probably a lot of other what if YouTubers. Um, by the way, you can find me on socials too, all at We Anime. I do a lot of stuff differently. I don't go on the Phantom Wiki and use one of those. I've made this entire like breathing forms myself. Okay, they're all me. I've made them all. You do not want to know how much time it takes me to make a Demon Slayer what if like idea. It takes me around 2 weeks to make them. For the Demon Slayer ones. Well, not 2 weeks, nearly 2 weeks. As of like Deku and Asta, I've made them so many times to where I have a new, like I have a like formula to making them. But for Tanjiro, I'll show you all now if you don't. Also, this is a podcast format, which yeah, uh, I do like the appearance, blade appearance. The forms are different. Right. They all have their like own format and anything like that. Um, when I describe the thing so I can actually remember what they look like. For this what if in particular, it was my first one I made out of all of my other ones. So if they continue to get better and better, that's the reason. This was my first one, and the way I describe it, I'll just use one. The first form, splintering branches. The way I describe, well, it's described in it. It says to the user and us, the viewer, because in world, the entire thing where, um, like the actual like, how do I explain it? Like the things that happen, like the water wheel, the uh, like let's take for instance the Hinokami Kagura. Whatever dance, whatever number, whatever, the Hinakami Kagura, the dragon head dance, where the dragon head shows up, that's not actually real. Like, it's real to us and the demon slayers around them and the demons themselves, but to normal, like, people, like civilians who aren't adept to or believe, they don't actually see the form being used like we do or the Demon Slayer does or demons themselves. So that's why I explained it like this, um, like to the user and to us, the viewer, in parentheses. I also have the arc, like the wiki, the Demon Slayer wiki, up, so I can go through like the arc, so I actually know where to go. Okay, that's just me personally. That's how I use it. Just so I know what to do and not what to do. Okay, so I think I think we're good here. Possibly. I have everything up and running. Okay, okay. Well, before we get back into the what if, let me get a drink of water, and I think you should too. And then you can get back to whatever game or chores or studying. I don't get why you would study to this, but I also get why, but I also don't get why. It doesn't matter. Either way, get back to what you were doing, gaming, chores, eating, whatever. Um, yeah. Let me get a drink of water. You should too. Okay. Tanjiro with the wagon would start to run up um, the mountain. At some point, he would just leave the wagon that he had, or I think it was a wagon, with all the wood and charcoal that would be in it, that was in it. After the people of the town below would uh, buy it and ask him to help them with things, um, he would just leave it somewhere, probably at that the guy's house. or halfway up the mountain, and he just left it there. As he would continue up, running up as fast as he could. And he's not a weak kid by any means. He's quite strong. He's quite fast for his age. Right. Especially this strength mostly came from helping his father doing this job before his passing, and now taking over the job fully after his father's passing, and the little bit of training his dad did with Tanjiro, like um, telling him he taught him the fundamentals of total concentration breathing, just like the focus on your breathing and yeah, the basic fundamentals of how to do this. He didn't teach him how to fully do it. He semi didn't fully teach him, but he also taught him how to just help his strength and speed and while breathing. Okay, given he was a ex demon slayer, right? Who was forced to retire because of an injury, and yeah. Anyways, once Tanjiro would reach the flat area, his home is, he would drop to his knees, mouth wide open. Tears would be threatening to spill out as he would see the carnage. His house being ransacked and family members littered. Well, two would litter the opening of the house. Tanjiro would start to semi crawl as tears would finally fall out. He can't bring himself to talk because of the shock. But yet he would finally, as he would get closer to Nezuko, and I believe the youngest of them, I don't remember their names. Sorry, but getting himself up to his feet as he would get closer, running up, checking for pulses. He would finally bring out words, yelling the names of his family. Let's go. Hey, 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 please, 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 please. No, 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 no. Why? Why? There's still a pulse. Hello? Mom. Hey, hey, no pulse. Why? Why? He would start to focus on his breathing to calm himself down. Okay, okay. Nesco still has a pulse. Still has a pulse. Still has a pulse. Let's get her to a doctor. Maybe they'll know. Maybe they'll know. He was right. He was right. He was right. Oh God, he was right. They're real. Or it was just some psychopath running through with a blade and just cut my family down. Either way, I'm gonna kill them all. They're all done. He'd be going into this state of mind where revenge is on his head and in his brain, and you get it. Picking up Nezuko, grabbing a hatchet and sticking it somewhere with its covering on the actual head of the axe or hatchet. getting her on the back and just trying to get down to the town. When Nezuko would wake up and start shaking and just pulling away, and they would fall off of the mountain, not off the mountain, but off of that cliff into the big pile of snow. Oh God, the snow broke the volleys. My ribs hurt. Yeah, I'm not surprised. And then Nezuko would start to growl and would launch herself at him, getting on top of him, trying to just cut him wide open. She would, like, given at this rage state she's in, she's not like fully understanding who he is by this time. So she would get a slash like on his shoulder, like right pec. Like it would still be small but deep enough to leave a scar. Like right pec to like his shoulder, the right shoulder, right pec. Very like small, but still it left a wound and yaw. I don't know why I said it like that. Uh and then finally Gyu would arrive. Nezuko would get off and well halfway she would react and get off and Tanjiro would also just throw her off. Now gripping at the opened wound, the red would paint the white snow. Gyu would say, I'll deal with this. Keep pressure on the wound. First form. Water surface slash. How did you do that? Don't. Please, sir. Don't. I know I don't know what she's doing, but still, she's my sister. Please don't. My question is how in the world, how in the hell did you catch up to me? Well, he would say that in his head, not out loud. She's a demon kid. Well, can we turn him back? Not. No. Not at all. They're scum of the earth now. She's fated to live forever. Slay person. Human after human after human. She won't. She won't. Yeah. Sure. Still blade in hand, Nezuko would be like pinned up against a tree, like face into the tree by Tanjiro. She'd still be squirming around trying to get him off, but she wouldn't be able to. Move. Bringing up his left leg and just putting it at Tanjiro's side, kicking him away with like great force to into a tree. Just he would fall down. You may hate me for this, but it's for her own good. A rock would fly through the air. Gyu would move his head back as the rock would fly past. You're still conscious. You know how they had that little standoff where Gyu would like wrap his arm around Nezuko's neck with the blade point, like I forget how it went because it's been like quite a few months since I've seen it. Like I rewatched Demon Slayer last year because I was making this what if and I wanted to do it. So I rewatched it all the way through the anime, by the way. I do know what happens in like the final chapters of like the actual manga, because I read it then. I did read it, okay, because I got tired of waiting for the Infinity Castle movie to come out, so I kind of just read it, okay. So I know what happens in the end. So I feel like everyone does at this point, at least. I feel like everyone has, like knows. I feel like it. Maybe not. I could be completely wrong, by the way. Could be so wrong in that fact. Either way, they would have their standoff. Tanjiro would run around throwing another rock at Gyu, who he would just knock it out of the air. As then, you know, he throws the axe and run ups himself, but Gyu knocks him out, and the axe lands right beside of where his head was, but he moved out of the way in time. So he's kind of impressed and just knocks out Nezuko. He would do that. Honestly, he would say what he says in canon about the throwing your life away. Uh, right? He would say it. I don't. The issue is, I don't remember what they say, but I do remember what they do. Like, you can't. I feel like that's what we all can agree with, unless you're a fanatic of Demon Slayer. I don't know. Sorry for the noise. I'm messing with something. Anyways, time would go on, and eventually Tanjiro would wake up with a note in hand, Nezuko knocked out beside him. Coordinates and just what the note said in canon, right? For Tanjiro by Gyu. What? I mean, I guess it's my only hope. Either way, up we go. Head to the cave we go. Dun 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 dun. Gotta get a basket, but I don't want to go. Oh, the wagon has one. Yeah, lay you down here and then basket and cloth and then rip and then okay, we're back. You're tiny now. Hmm. I'm not gonna question it. Tie, you basket. Pick you up. Ah! Down the basket we go. You should be safe in there from the sun, unless you want to burn alive. Hmm. Yeah, sure. My sister's now a demon. Can't be in the sun. I totally get what I totally get what happened. I totally get it. Mm-hmm. Totally get it. be like getting magically transported into a circus in some mouth eyeball thing with a top hat and a cane bossing you around. That doesn't make any sense, but it happened in media once. I'm not from the area of it. Early 19 like 12s. You know, the funniest thing is I've learned recently while I was watching Demon Slayer, the Taisho era. Um, these people were alive in 1912, meaning Yorichi in Kokoshibo and Muzan were alive during our time, like as civilization. Well, not civilization. Yeah, actually, no, yeah, civilization. Yeah, huh. They probably, as you know, they were in Japan, so they didn't even. No, they wouldn't know about Christianity. I don't believe. Muzan might. Um, but yeah, they were alive for a lot of crap to go on in our world. Like these honestly could be real people back in the day. Like I don't get. I feel like a lot of people don't realize that. Like my great great grandpa was alive during their time, during the Taisho era. I know great great grandpa is probably not a good thing, but hey, that's how we're here. Great, yeah, probably 1912. At least that's when they should be around because Ginya has a sawed-off double barrel shotgun, and like pew pews and well firearms and stuff like that were not like they were only an America thing until like we popularized the idea of uh, firing stuff to hurt other people and hunt for animals. So yeah, 1912-ish era, Taisho era, quite cool honestly. I don't get it, but hey, it happens. Not entirely sure how, but yet, hey, we have katanas now and they haven't even changed for the past 300 some years. So I'm not going to question much, okay? I'm not going to question much. Actually, it might just be my great grandpa as I think about it. Yeah, my great great grandpa, my great grandpa were both probably around, well, we're alive. Like my great my great grandpa would be a lot like the same age as Tanjiro, like during that time, like 15-ish, around in the 1912, I believe. And yeah, huh, hmm. Huh. I'm just figuring stuff out. I'm a very funny man, if you can't tell. Also, like to yell a lot, but hey, that's an everyone thing. Either way, back to the story. Eventually, making it to a temple um, would be Nezuko and Tanjiro. Right. It looks like it's about to rain. We should head in there. What is that stench? Oh god, it stinks. It stinks so bad. You know, it's very rude to call people stinky. You don't even know their issues. Demon. Crap. he would slowly just turn his head, making eye contact with the demon as it would cock its head sideways. The greenish pale skin, the black hair with um, yellow eyes, and the uh, actually I don't even remember that. I don't remember the greenish, like you know how we have white eyes, like the white part. That would be like palish green. It would have ripped up shorts and no footwear in sight. Um, Ripped up to like sleeves and like like hide and bracelets and stuff like that. As it would then say, "How about you become my next meal?" As it would then jump at Tanjiro, who would quickly pull out his hatchet and just bring it out, and just somehow with this semi dull axe, just slice straight through its midsection, all the way through, leaving like the spinal cord like attached, but yet it would like flip over, just missing Tanjiro entirely, like as it then would just reattach itself, as it then would turn around on even footing with Tanjiro and say, "You know, for a kid, you're strong. Are you gonna be a better meal than I thought?" As it would then lick its lips, and it would lunge at Tanjiro again, who would duck down under the blow and bring the hatchet up at the shoulder. Blood would splatter out, covering Tanjiro's clothes, like from the torso down, with splatters of blood, and with the arm like barely hanging on by the shoulder, the demon would turn around and say, "Stop moving! And how are you doing this?" It would lunge out in anger, bringing its hand, well, claw-like fingernails out, like across his um like chest, like slashing it, but not very deep, because Tanjiro would move back as it would happen. In his head, he would say, "Thank you, Dad, for helping me out here." See, when Tanjiro was younger, around 5, or probably around 8, actually, 8 or 5, um, throughout those years, and like when Tanjiro was 9 is when his dad would pass. But during the 3 years that Tanjiro started like training, technically, with his father with the breathing, he would also teach him how to use a sword, because well, Tanjiro's dad was a swordsman, samurai, or demon slayer, unbeknownst to his family, beside his wife, Tanjiro's mother. Teaching him how to use a sword and use all of his senses to check what his opponent is doing, watching the breathing, eye line, the muscles, and his strong sense of smell to know where it's going to happen. He's using all this now to not get entirely mauled and, well, eaten by this demon. Either way, with the hatchet, he would finally make an attack, raising it above his head and bringing it down onto like the demon's like what is that, collarbone? Yeah, through the collarbone into like this torso. As then Tanjiro, leaving it there, would grab the like arms of the demon, reel back his head, and then boom, the shockwave would just reel out from this would crack the demon's like skull. Blood would then like spatter out. Um, then Tanjiro would then reach up, let go of the left hand, grab the hatchet, and start to pull out. As then with his other hand, he would deliver a heavy elbow to like the side of the demon's head, and then up above, bringing down his fist into like a hammer fist, just boom, and then boom across the face, grabbing the throat and ripping the axe out by this time, headbutting it again, like Sparte front kick. This guy, how is he? Is he a slayer? No, he's not even dressed like one. He doesn't even have a sword. Or using their own magical powers. Who is this guy? Healing all of this back quickly, Tanjiro then would kick it again into a tree, as then a voice would echo and say, "Aim for the neck. That is their weak point." The demon's head would turn to see a guy with an ogre mask. Who is my head? Where did my body go? The body would fall to its knees and slump down. It's not gonna fully perish unless you either wait for the sun to rise or completely destroy its head. His the demon's head would be slightly pinned by the axe, like at the Tanjiro hit the base, like sliced off the base of the neck, and then brought it back up, and like at the bottom of your like jaw, it kind of just connects there. That's where it would be. Just it would be lodged there, like attached to the tree, not attached, embedded into the tree. Tanjiro then would say, "Well, sorry." He would raise up both hands and just start boom, boom, just waylaying into it, punch at the punch, blow at their blow, until it would be fully destroyed. The demon's body would finally disappear in ash. Thank you. God, should have put more pressure on the wound while I had the chance. Both. Luckily, I had got a little bit close to close that one up, but this one, that's going to be a different story. Maybe he will help. Hello? That hurts. Are you by chance? I forget his first name. Somewhere right here. Sakoji Orodaki? Yes, I am. But how do you know that by chance? A man named by Gyu Tomioka. He sent me to you in your direction. Here, he told. Well, in the note, he said he would know. You would know? Yes, I know. I know who you are. You and your sister, I may presume. The demon? Yes. Yes, it is. Okay. Well, come on. Let's get you patched up. Let's head to my place. And then we're gonna do a time skip. 2 years would go by. Tanjiro being 15, I think. Or maybe he's 17? I'm gonna make him 17 in this. Okay. He's gonna be 17 in this. I don't care. Actually, no. He's gonna be 18. He can drink sake. Yeah, we're gonna get a badass over here with a massive jug of sake. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. Actually, no. I think I wrote his age down somewhere. No, I didn't. So, yeah, he's 18 now. Age 18. Uh, after 2 year time skip. After 2 year TS. Yep. Okay. Anyways, over those 2 years, uh, after Orodaki would learn who this kid is and who his father is, he would teach him his father's style, or to his best of his ability, because it is a branching off of water and earth, not earth, water breathing and stone breathing. So, yeah, it is a branch off of those two in a sense. That's how it would work in canon. It would be a branching off of both of those, since, well, trees can't really grow without water or the ground, mind you. If you didn't know, if you were a city folk, you may not know that. Um, Actually, no, I'm joking. That probably offended some of you. One of you might be a botanist. I think that's no, those are plants. Trees are trees. What is that? A naturist? I don't know. I don't know. A person who studies trees? I don't know. I don't know. Either way, going on throughout the 2 years, and a couple months would go by for Tanjiro and Nezuko Kamado and his new teacher and friend Sakochi Urodaki and him meeting two ghosts. It really confuses him now after learning who they were and how they perished. He was legit talking to ghosts. Hmm. Sabito and Makito. I think it's Makio. Is it Makio? Makumo. Okay, it's Makumo. Meeting those two at the boulder and defeating Sabito in training, cutting the boulder. It was finally time for him to go to the final selection, which he is already on the road to the mountain. Heading up there with his current katana, the gray blue, the blue blade with the gray hilt and the shape of oval shape uh, Tsuba with the bluish gray sheath, or the gray sheath. I don't remember the color. Either way, heading up there, seeing all the other potential demon slayers around him, the test would begin. A kid with a boar mask head would be throughout first, and then Tanjiro would be around the middle. Heading in, he would go off in his own way, just wandering around, eventually finding a demon and saying, "Shall we?" To it. He didn't even notice Tanjiro was there before he said that. Oh, it's finally. Is that time? Is it the time again for your test, kid? Well, okay. Then we shall. It it would stop. Wood breathing. Second form. Warping willow. To all the demon would see is a storm of willow leaves and barks and the bark of the willow tree. Would go past him, well, would like be thrown at him like in a storm, um, as then his head would fall. As then the last two words he would hear is, "Sorry, you couldn't continue on devouring." He would keep on walking, slaying demon after demon in a cold manner, to say the least. Meeting another after another. A couple times he would be jumped, but he would deal with it. He would get cut up, but after meeting with people who actually was smart enough to bring a med kit or bandages to the very least, he would ask if, well, could he borrow some? They would say yes, thankfully. Um, help him cover up the wounds, and uh, this group, just random demon slayers, by the way, I'm not giving them names. They would stay with Tanjiro for a while. 2 days would be on the second days when they would meet. These two were already with each other, like teaming up, um, right? But eventually, in the evening of the second day, they would meet Tanjiro, or come up to Tanjiro after he has slain another demon, right? Um, right. Either way, on the, well, 2 days, it would be the fourth day. So on the fifth day, they would say goodbye to each other. Well, each two. Tanjiro would go off on his own, as um, the other two demon slayers, potential demon slayers, would go off on their own way. Tanjiro would never see those two again. As sad as it might be, Tanjiro would just move on. The final day would come up, and Tanjiro, the day before the final day, Tanjiro would not be seeing any demons. Like, he would see one and take it out, but that's it for the rest of the day. Weirdly. He had stayed on one side of the forest, so he decided to move into more of the middle, closer to the middle of the forest during this time for the final day before heading down. And well, this is where he'd meet the hand demon. Tanjiro, with his fox mask to the side of his face, he would, from the trees, he would see this towering demon, hands covering his entire body. And well, we all know who the hand demon is. And either way, we all know who he is. I don't have to describe him. Tanjiro would watch this towering demon, just slap a guy out of midair and catch him by the head and snap his neck. The body would fall, but the head would stay in the hand, as then the demon would eat the head. Tanjiro then would say, "I'm sorry I couldn't save you, but yet I will avenge you." He would run up behind it silently. By that manner, the demon didn't notice. Then Tanjiro would begin running quickly at high speeds, as he then would say, "Wood breathing, second form, warping willow," spinning as he would slash at the demon's head, but the hand, like the multiple hands would just take the blow and would just not do much, but it would still cut through a decent amount of like hand flesh. I don't know how to describe it. Tanjiro would end up on the other side, looking up as the demon would say, "Wait a second. Were you trained by Urodaki Sakuji? By the silence, I took that as a yes. See, I recognize the mask. I recognize the uniform you're wearing. I've taken down so many of your comrades, his trainees. Oh, they were so good. Oh, I remember it. You've done the most damage since that one. The peach-colored hair. I remember him, because he's the only one who's done damage to me. The other ones all tried and failed. He, though, was the closest to actually do anything to me. So, what was his name? Sabito something, I don't remember. Tell me your name. Now, before we continue our fight. My name's Tanjiro Kamado. Good. Say hi to your comrades for me when I send you to hell. Slamming down one massive amalgamation of hands, of a massive hand, down on trying to crush Tanjiro. Tanjiro would move quickly. As then he would run forward. Run up a arm that was just then slammed down trying to catch him. Running up, he would then say, "Wood breathing, fourth form, sailing cedar slash." Well, running forward, leaping up, flipping forward, sailing cedar slash. A bunch of cedar needles A cedar tree is basically a species of the same species as pine trees. You know, with the needles and yeah, you get my point. Just slicing. Hello, I don't know. Moana means family. Family means home. Home is where family is. That wasn't a good Stitch impression, but hey, I tried. Either way, slashing into the arm that he was once uh, running up and then finally jumping up higher. Well, not higher, just leaping forward, as in he would say. Actually, no, hold on. Oh, there it is. I found it. Right. Yeah! Sixth form. Tall crust. Red wood. Oh, wait. Hold on. Let me re-say that. Wood breathing. Sixth form. Tall crust. Red wood. Multiple arms and multiple hands would try to reach up at Tanjiro at this point. As he would fall down, Tanjiro would slash multiple times, thrust and slash multiple times. All these hands would be just slashed up, thrusted into by the blade, and then finally, as he would get farther, well, closer down, he would spin mid-air uh, and slash through the neck. As then, to the demon and to himself, a tall redwood tree would fall down onto him. But in reality, nothing happened. Goodbye. As then Tanjiro would continue on to his continue on through the forest and down the mountain. He would make it through the gate. The two children would be there. He would make it to only three other people would be there. Right? Yeah. Zenitsu Atsugawa. I can't pronounce his last name. Zenitsu Ginya Shinizugawa and Kano. I forget her last name. Kanao. I think I'm butchering that. I guarantee that. Either way, these four would be there with probably a couple others who's already passed. Inosuke being one of them. Hashibira. It's such a cool name. Either way, these guys are already passing before Tanjiro. Tanjiro would just walk through with the mask on the side of his face now instead of on the front. Zenitsu would recognize him because they did meet in the forest, like briefly. They did talk for a little bit, but briefly they would meet. From like Tanjiro would save him from a demon like attack. They would talk for a minute. Ginya did see him in for the Ginya did see him, but they didn't interact by any means. He just saw him run past. Right. Yeah. Kind of no idea who this guy is, but hey, he passed, so he must be good enough. Either way, yeah, they would all pick out their or Tanjiro would break Ginya's arm for uh, attacking the child. Okay, but yeah, getting the metal sorted out, the ore, and well, getting his details on his blade, and no, he would just get his blade chosen. Either way, he would make his way back to Orodaki's, and I believe a couple months later, he would finally get his sword made. Okay. Also, the heart-touching, wholesome scene of Nezuko being awake finally, and then those two hugging. What happened? I just didn't go over it. I don't know why I did that. I'm so sorry. Either way, yeah. Hanasagawa, is that his name? Hanasagawa. Uh, hold on. Uh, Tanjiro. Tanjiro's swordsmith. Yeah. Who is this? Hanazazuka? Is that? I'm butchering that. Yeah, this guy. Yeah. Robbie Damon voices him. Fucking badass. I love Robbie Damon. Robbie Damon is awesome. Robbie Damon Glaze. Either way, yeah. Haganazuka would arrive with Tanjiro's blade, arriving at Orodaki's place, and then once Tanjiro would touch the blade, the color of it would change from like the normal blade color, like the silver and the black. It would change to a greenish brown. The kanji would be Demon Slayer, with the demon being smaller but Slayer being bigger in size. Kind of like a tree billowing out at the end, where the trunk of it would be bigger and the actual, when you get higher, it would be smaller up. Okay, that's how it would be kind of like wrote. The demon being smaller, the Slayer being bigger. The Suba is a green maple leaf with a silver outline, with the hilt being brown with a black cloth wrapped around it. A black butt cap, and the sheath would be brown with a silver tree on, like coming up, like where the blade and the sheath, like the not the blade, the Suba and the blade, like meet, not the blade, sheath meet. It would go up from there, right? He would be wearing the standard Demon Slayer uniform, with the reddish hue to it, with a brown Hiyori with green tree limbs running up to the sleeves. Same scar, by the way, on the upper left of his forehead. Yeah. The slicked back, uh, brownish green hair with dark red eyes. Yeah. Muscular build, 5'5" in height. Yeah. It's probably been nearly an hour. So let's see. Yeah, I believe we're done here for today. Next part would be well, next part two, if you all decide to come back, because that's where I'm actually going to end it for today. Tomorrow we will be going over the kidnapper, like bog demon fight, and the Muzan meeting, and then Also, the Tamari demon, Arrow demon, like fight. Also, Lady Tamo and Yushiro meeting. Also next part, and then for the third part, we'll be doing the Sasumi Mansion arc, which is the drum. I forget his actual name, but the drum demon. Oh God, what is his name? Yeah, where we meet Inosuke and Zenitsu that time. Yeah. So yeah, that's how it's going to be going. Um, yeah. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all enjoyed the part, and yeah, hope to see you all next time. Hope you all enjoy the rest of your day, night, afternoon, evening. Roll the dice. Bye bye.